Hi guys, I'm Shubham and this video is part of the project submission made to the Pytorch Summer Hackathon 2020. Let's talk about the problem statement that we are trying to solve through this project. When we train a neural network, it's not very intuitive to understand what the neural network is learning underneath, or how each layer in the neural network is representing the data on which it is trained on. Or is a layer being biased on a set of data points? Or is it the whole network itself? What if we can visualize the layers during the training process? Then maybe we can have a more clear picture of what the network is actually learning and which layer parameters needs to be fine-tuned. So how can we accomplish this? Can feature maps be of help? And the answer is yes. One way to better comprehend the network is to visualize feature maps. Feature maps are the outputs of a filter applied to the previous layer. So what if we can visualize these feature maps during the training process? That would be great because we can have a more clear picture of what the network is actually learning. We can identify which layer parameters need fine-tuning and also get some notion of whether a layer is being biased at some set of examples or not. Whoa, that sounds great. But is there a package to do so? Luckily, yes. It's called PyLaymon, a neural network layer monitoring package. PyLaymon is a Python-based package which is used to visualize the layers or the feature maps of a given model or a set of layers of a model. The package is available on PyPy and can be installed via pip. The package also maintains a documentation which you can access through laymon.readthedocs.io. You can also visit the repository link to find the source code of the package and find examples on how you can use the package in your own notebooks. Next, I would like to talk about the architecture of the package in brief. PyLaymon consists of a feature map monitor which maintains a list of layer observer objects. These are the layers whose feature maps needs to be visualized. Each layer observer has a display attached to it. Whenever there is a change in the parameters or the feature maps of the layers, the feature map monitor notifies this to the layer observers, which in turn updates their display. Thus, we are able to visualize the feature maps of each of the layers in real time. Enough of presentation. Let's do a demo of the package. So how can you use the Laymon package to monitor the layers in your project? You can simply import Laymon, create an instance of the feature map monitoring class, add the neural network model to the feature map monitor, and then call the .start method during the training of the model to visualize the feature maps of the layers in real time. At any point of time, if you want to get the list of the layers that are being monitored, you can call the getRegisteredObserver method. Also, if you want to add one layer at a time or remove a certain layer from the monitor, you can do so by calling the add layer method or the remove layer method. Now let's walk through an example notebook. This is an example notebook which demonstrates the use of the PyLaymon package. The notebook is a part of the Pytorch tutorials and has been expanded to demonstrate the use of the PyLaymon package. The first thing to note over here is that instead of using the matplotlib inline function, we are using the matplotlib notebook magic function. This is required so that we can update the figures in real time inside the notebook. The notebook is used to create or train a classifier on the CFAR10 datasets. Let's walk through the notebook. We import the Pytorch libraries and download the CFAR10 dataset. We then create train and test loaders for the same. we then visualize some of the examples from the trained dataset. Next, we create a neural network consisting of 2 convolutional layers, 1 pooling layer, and 3 dense layers. Next, we initialize a feature map monitoring class. Here, we are creating an instance of the feature map monitoring class. We then pass the whole model so that we can monitor all the layers of the neural network. We can get the list of the layers that are being monitored by calling the getRegisteredObserver method. Next, let's say we want to remove the last 2 layers from being monitored. So we can do so by calling the remove layer method and pass the layer name to it. Now if we get the list of the registered observers, we'll see that FC2 and FC3 layers are not being monitored anymore. Next, we create a loss function and our optimizer. Then we create a training loop so as to train the neural network on the CFAR10 dataset. Here you can see that we call the .start function of the feature monitoring class at each epoch. This is done so that we can notify the layers observers that the feature maps or the parameters have been updated and they need to update their displays also. Let's run this and we can see that we are now visualizing the feature maps of the con1 layer, similarly the pooling layer and the con2 layer. Since FC1 layer is a single dimensional layer, we might not be able to visualize it because we need at least 2 dimensions to visualize an image. So this is how we can visualize the feature maps in real time during the training of the model. Next, I would like to shed some light upon another feature of the PyLaymon package, which is to create custom displays for visualizing the feature maps. One of the applications for creating custom displays could be that you want to show additional meta info along with the feature maps, or you want to use a third-party application for visualization, for example Grafana, instead of the matplotlib library. In order to accomplish this, you can write your own custom display class and simply plug it into the feature map monitoring instance. To create your own custom display class, you just need to inherit from the abstract display class method and write your own custom display class. Then you can write your own custom methods and then finally implement the update display method, which takes 2 things. First is a list of parameters that will be visualized on the display, and second is the display title, which is the title displayed on that particular display. Then you can call your custom logics over here and then you are done. Next, you can simply override the display object of the observer factory class with your own custom display class. Now you are done. Now each observer points to your custom display instead of the default custom display. I would also like to discuss some areas of improvement that are currently in place for the package. One example is the use of the matplotlib library. The updates to the matplotlib library graphs are synchronous in nature and thus are very slow. This in turn can affect the training time of a neural network. In the future release, such updates would be asynchronous in nature. Next, in the future release, we'll also have the capability to display our graphs in the browser. Finally, the project is open source and contributions are most welcome. Thank you everyone. My name is Shubham and see you next time.